Okay, so we are getting down to really understanding a little bit of what's going on and some of the involvement of other people who kind of roll through P Valley. Hey guys, thanks so much for clicking on the video. This is my review for P Valley. This is season 1, episode 2, and the episode is called Scars. And yeah, there's a whole little thing with these scars. Um, yeah, like an attachment with scar. I'll explain. Anyway, moving on. Okay, the VIP room. This room, they got these folks back here. Baby, it's scandalous. They're back there. They got a whole S&M little situation going on with this little cute little high yellow guy who we find out his name is Corbin. And it is Fantasy Friday down at P Valley. And he's into the whips and the chains and the this, that, thing, and the other and all of that. So they're in there getting them together. Whole time, basically, it was Mississippi was back there, and I think Mercedes was back there with her, working him out, and it was like really wild. They were saying that during Fantasy Friday, it's like a free for all. So I think you had like some. They said when the bitches is the bitches is dudes and the dudes is bitches or something. It's like a whole open thing. Like there's some of everybody doing everything basically. Um, when they came out, they were like Corbin. They said all that light and can't pass. So we found out later on Corbin's actually mulatto. He has a white father and a black mother, or maybe his mother was Creole, but his father is white, and we found out about that a little bit later, and I'll explain. Again, Uncle Clifford is going at Autumn about this here ID situation and told we don't do tax evasion, darling. You got to do what you got to do. Now, whenever they were back there in the fan and the VIP room, she was nebbing and nosing, trying to see what was going on back there. And she was told to mind her business. Mind your business. And concentrate on what you're doing out there lap dancing. She basically kind of slightly tried to kind of do a little thing with Uncle Clifford. Like, you know, I know what be going on back there in that VIP room. It's like they back there selling coochie. And that there's drugs and liquor and whatever else going on back there. And he was giving her very, no boo. That ain't working. I said get some ID, and that's what I meant. Period. So don't try to do me. Don't try to do me. I said, girl, you barking up the wrong tree. I think you'll get yourself into some trouble, mess around and be fired. So then we see some more of Big Al and Clifford and how they are doing their thing. And then I figured out this whole thing with the Mexicans, because I was like, what is this thing with these Mexicans? When Clifford was cutting up in last week's episode, Clifford start cashing checks because it's a check cashing place too. The loan place is like check cashing, and Clifford then stole their check cashing. He down there cashing the Mexican guys' checks because get that, you know, a lot of them are illegal aliens and stuff and don't have no bank accounts. So Clifford done stole their damn business. I just cracked. I said, Lord have mercy, Lord have mercy. And they also banned food and doing whatever. So that's what that was all about. But anyway, we see Big Al and Clifford, and Clifford was like, I don't know what this is all about, and, you know, we ain't never been this bad off before. How we going to get out of this, Clifford? And he's like, just count, nigga, just count. Just keep counting the money, and that's that. And he said, he made the comment, he said, you know, all I know is a nigga got 2 charges and ain't got nowhere else to go. So, just as much as Clifford depends on Big Al and Angel and all the people there, they depend on him too. Everybody down to P Valley, everybody in Pussy Valley got a story, pretty much. It's some of everything. People down on their luck, folks on their last chance, folks with dreams. You got everything down there, you know, and everybody really is counting on everybody else, whether they know it or not. He told them, please handle it. We found out that the actual bill that he's trying to get, that he owes over $55,000. I said, oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, that's a nice little piece of change. So later on that night, Clifford goes and he's getting in the car and he's kind of like exhaling and smoking and sitting in the car. And the next thing you know, he ain't in the car by himself. There's somebody in the back seat. It's Lil Murder in the back seat. So this was a scene. It was a whole mess because Lil Murder serves a lot of different things. Okay, Clifford is infatuated with Lil Murder. He finds him very sexually arousing. Plus, he's actually scared of him as well. He don't know, you know, because he's ghetto. He's just that bad, like a bad boy. Like he breaking in your car and just doing this shit. So it's like this whole thing going on. It's like this whole nervous energy, but then there's a sexual energy on top of it. And it's all just a faggoty mess. And I can say that because I'm part of the community, but that's what it is. When I look at it, it's a bunch of faggoty bullshit. It's what's going on. Yes, don't y'all say that. Don't say that. That'll get you in trouble. But that's what it is. That's what my grandmother would call it, a bunch of faggoty bullshit. Anyway, so he was a little mad about his music not getting played. But, you know, whatever. And they going back and forth. Clifford tell him, you ain't ready. You know, and he real arrogant. He gonna tell him, you ain't ready. You know, I tried to give you this dick and you wasn't ready. You probably couldn't take it any old way. And Clifford's all like having these little thoughts of what actually child where he done touched it and seen it and was messing with it, honey. I said, oh Lord. I said, okay, good thing this is on Stars, honey, because all right. But they go through all that, but he excites Mother Clifford, honey, or Uncle Clifford, that's mother, honey. He excites him, honey. And he said what he had to say to him and whatever, and he ended up getting on out the car and going on about his business. Because he really did. He was like, oh, Lord, not now. And he was like, ain't nobody ready to bust no slugs. And you it was like, oh, God. So, anyway, let's talk about Mercedes and her mama. Here we go. We see this whole scene with Mercedes' mama down there to the church. And we see the pastor and how the pastor is just working her like a part-time job. So, basically, what we found out is Mercedes' mama is pimping her, and the pastor's pimping Mercedes' mama. He's telling her about going and getting more money from her daughter and this, that, thing, and the other, and promising to let her preach and all of this. And she's attracted to him, and he knows that too. He cute, but he just an old damn swindler, old Bible-thumping swindler, just like her. He ain't shit either. I said, you being pimped by the pastor and then you pimping your daughter. Girl, you are a piece of work, honey. That's a mess. After that, we see a little scene where Autumn is going through these fake IDs. That she has these fake IDs. And she's making phone calls to see if people are coming up dead or what, you know, what's going on with these IDs she has. And then when she goes through the IDs, she finds one that she can use. And then she asked the woman about a Maltavius Hill. And the woman said, oh, no, he ain't showed up. That's a good thing, right, baby? That's a good thing. I think Maltavius Hill is the issue. And I don't think... I think there's something went down with her and Maltavius. I think he's the man in the flashback we saw. And I don't think she knows whether or not he's dead or if he's actually looking for her, is what I'm piecing together. So... just remember the name Maltavius Hill. We're going to remember that and see what actually comes from that. So then we found out some more stuff about Andre. And we found out that there actually is real estate that Andre is doing. Andre actually is part of this whole deal There are these brothers, two white brothers, who are trying to basically get that land where Pussy Valley sits, and they're trying to turn it all into this resort and casino. Okay. The other part of it is Corbin. Corbin is their half brother. Okay. So they own the land, but Corbin is a third. And they don't like Corbin. Corbin doesn't see it for them because he was never accepted. He's the dirty little secret. And they saying how Corbin just throws their daddy's money away and this, that thing, and the other, and on and on and on. So they're like this front. And then there's Corbin, and they're like, we're not going to be able to get him to agree. So they actually send Andre to talk to Corbin and try to sway him into doing this here deal. So it ended up being a whole big mess. A whole big mess. I said, okay, so Andre do got some other stuff going on. I didn't know exactly what his little situation was, but he got a whole situation. Like he got a whole family and well, got a woman and family or whatever somewhere else, and he's here literally doing business, but finding himself falling from Miss Autumn while we're all into this. Okay, so dig this. There was this whole car wash, and at this car wash, it was the girls, you know, wet t-shirts, and the girls are out there washing cars. They're making this money. Okay, we have this run-in with the actual mayor, and the mayor and Uncle Clifford. Okay, but there's still a level of respect between the two, but I don't think they really care for each other too much, because there was at a point when Uncle Clifford said, you know, I'm the mayor of Pussy Valley though, right? You know that. I said, you better tell him, bitch. So he's basically always posing a little threat over Clifford to, you know, do him and, you know, run him out and all of this kind of thing. So Clifford has to stroke his ego. And he said he want, you know, do this car, do it real, real good, you know, hook him up. Something goes down, we get more flashbacks. The doors end up being locked, and Autumn is inside the car, and she has this whole panic attack and goes off. So we see that there was something going on during that whole flooding. I think she got trapped in a car or something at some point, because she was freaking out and ended up coming out of the sunroof and all of this. And she was snapping out, and they're all looking at her. And Clifford's like consoling her, and she's like blaming Mercedes, like, you did it on purpose, you bitch, you did it. Mercedes like, girl, I don't know what you're talking about. It's crazy ass. So Clifford ended up telling her, you know what, just chill out. Chill out, calm down. Mercedes is going to take you home. She drove her home, and Mercedes got to see a little bit of her living arrangement. It was like, the fuck? You know, she's like, girl, she's like, I don't like this and I don't like that. And, you know, she just real cut off to her. She don't trust Mercedes, and she shouldn't. You know, she's doing all that. And she told Mercedes, she was like, I don't like this and I don't like that. She was saying, you obviously don't like curtains either, bitch. She ain't got no curtains, child. She had a newspaper up to the window, and she's a shady bitch. You obviously don't like curtains either, bitch. I said, oh, said you're rude, honey. I drove you all the way over here. You don't even ask a girl if she want a cool drink. She's like, you ain't getting up in my house, bitch. Get on out of here. Anyway, also we found out that Mercedes has been saving her money, wanting to buy this. Where we always see them practicing, they're outside of like a gymnasium and that. She has got the money together to get that gymnasium. And she's telling the girls, you know, yeah, we come next week, we're going to be inside the building practicing. And the mothers was like, not a moment too soon, because, you know, there was like guys riding up and they were like catcalling and stuff. I'm like, so tacky. So she actually does have dreams and aspirations. Now, she has $20,000 that's actually down there hidden in the church. You know, we know that. Her mother's like hiding the thing. She called her mother for the money. Her mother told her, I don't know if I can get it right. And so she's like, I need my money by next week. This, that, thing, and the other. Mama done played some games. I don't know what done happened, but I believe. Well, first of all, The pastor was saying they needed more money to they're trying to secure a loan or something, but they need some more money. I don't know what happened to this money, or if the money is already gone, or if they didn't put this money in escrow toward this loan or something. The money ain't there, I don't believe, and the mother ain't gonna be able to get it. We get ready to have a whole issue about these 20 stacks, and that mama done some old bullshit. Something's getting ready to go down with that, so we gonna hold on with that. Then we seen Autumn do. She was in the library, and she did this $9,000 fund transfer. Autumn ain't no bum. Autumn is a corporate girl. Autumn got her hands in some different shit, and she knows business. Okay? Now, more of that came out when she got to work. Next day at work, like I said, we seen this. She's doing this $9,000 transfer. I said, okay. Her phone's back working, so she got her pictures back. She can see her baby and all that. But there's more to Autumn than what we're actually seeing. And then there was another thing. That's what I said. She's not really from this world. She's not gritty like these girls. And she like goes into the stall and gets dressed and undressed and that. And they were like, why is she doing that? Because there's some everything going on. She's in the stall getting dressed. There was 2 strippers over there having, baby. I said, look at these 2 dykes. They was having each other down in the stall. I said, y'all couldn't wait till y'all went home? They're over there having each other at work. Trifling. Anyway, moving on. So they get there, child, the cook done went to quitting. And Clifford and him is having it out. I said, Clifford stomping around in these damn high heels and trying to argue. The damn cook has got his pots leaving. So I'm coming back for the lids tomorrow. I said, oh, Lord. Clifford was getting ready to cry and stuff. And Mercedes was like, no crying at the pink. And he gonna say, well, look at here. Look at which bitch it is that's going to try to give me all the rules. He gonna say, that's right. You right, though, bitch. You right. Let's go get this money. You know, he pulled it together. But that's when, again, there's more of a... Clifford and Mercedes are tight. They're tight. And as much as I think she gets on his nerves and he gets on her nerves, they like brother and sister is what I'm actually pulling from them too. So very, very interesting. They talking, because she knew right away that something was off with Clifford. They end up talking a little bit later, and she's like, why are you doing this? Why are you not saying what's going on? Why ain't you saying that you need some help? You know, tell me what you need. What do you need? He gonna say, you got 55 stacks? She's like, oh, bitch. So, again, they're like a brother-sister situation. I think they've been together that long, you know, that kind of thing. So, the situation with the cook took place. Little Murder show up. And they get talking about how the cook then left, this, that, and the other. He ain't got time for Little Murder and this bullshit right now. But where it ends up happening, Little Murder jump right in and help him. Will say, you know, them wings and shit be giving people gas. And he said, one of my dudes was out here hanging out. One of your girls that farted on his lap last week. Said, yeah. So all this, he's like, you gotta do this. Child, he get back there and said, well, you gonna help, little nigga. So he gets back there, and most of the, like, little boys from NOLA and stuff, them New Orleans boys, if you get to, most of them can cook and stuff. They be knowing how to throw down, and they know how to keep house and all that. They just real ghetto, and they hard, but they be knowing stuff. Child, that Little Murder got up in there, baby, and took and did something to put weed in with the wings, and had the kitchen rolling, baby. The food was running out, and honey, folks was high up eating them wings, baby. He knew exactly what he was talking about. I said, child, here we go. We like Little Murder, honey. I told you he's cute. He's cute, too. He's cute. He can cook. He got the weed. He know how to make some money. He got extra. From what we see and hear. So, yeah. We like Little Murder. Anyway. He's interesting. We'll keep on watching him. So Corbin and Andre have their little meeting. Corbin wants to lease. He don't want to sell. So Andre needs to talk him into it. There's this whole thing going on with the deal. Autumn is back here dancing and carrying on. She listening and all of this. She's all in it, okay? Doing her thing. And then Corbin ends up paying for Andre to go back to the back and have a special little dance with old Autumn and all of this kind of carrying on. And he really didn't want to do nothing with her. He didn't do nothing. They start talking. Autumn basically gives Andre some advice about the deal and working the deal. And that's where I said, this bitch knows what she's talking about. She knows about investments. She knows business and all of this. Now, this is where the scars things comes in. As she's dancing, him and her done connected over these here scars that they got. She got one from it looked like she had a cesarean, and he got a scar in his chest. He said he was born with his heart on the outside and everything. So they done bonded over these here scars. But he ends up leaving. You know, he ends up leaving the club. He didn't do nothing with her at the club. And later on after that, before this happens, okay, he leaves. She's at the club. Autumn goes when they get ready to pay up and all that. They's like, how that whore make all that money, this, that, and the other, blah, 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 blah. Because he gave her all the money, you know, the money that Corbin had paid and all that. But she didn't have sex with him or nothing. So she go to give her little cut to Uncle Clifford. And she gave him the ID and all that. And Uncle Clifford's like, I know this is a fake ID. And she starts basically blabbing, and she kind of knows some of the stuff about what's going on with Corbin and Andre and all of this. So she's saying, he basically let her know, what you gonna do, bitch? I'm gonna take this old rag. Remember, she tried to blackmail him a little bit. He turned it around on her. So I'm gonna take this old fake ID because I know it's fake, bitch. I know. But what you gonna do is you gonna be getting me some intel. I'm gonna let you work here as whoever the fuck this is. You gonna get me the information that I need about Corbin, and that's just how this is gonna work. I said, see, girl, digging a hole. You trying to blackmail somebody and it done turned around on you. That's what you get. Anyway, later on that night, Andre had gave her his card. She ends up calling Andre. Child, they talking. Andre, that's when we found out Andre have a family. He got off the phone with that woman. Got on the phone with Autumn. And baby, they had this whole phone sex scene. It was just as a raunchy, honey. I said, nasty, honey. Them two was carrying on that phone, honey. I said, old stars. Softcore porn. I don't even know how softcore it was, because when it ended up, honey, his little chest and stomach was just as wet. I said, oh, y'all done really showed everything. And they showed all the nudity. I said, child, a mess, honey. I said, what is we watching here? Come on, Pussy Valley, honey. A mess. This is definitely grown folks television. Grown folks. So anyway, it's really off and it's really moving and there's a lot. So now, because see, Andre was scaring me at first. So Andre ain't scaring me. Andre got his nose open. Autumn got Andre with his nose open, and Andre got Autumn with her nose open too. That's a recipe for disaster. Ciao. And listen, speaking of noses open, honey, little murder, his nose is open too. And Uncle Clifford gonna get caught up. You just watch. Anyway, that's it, child. That's episode 2 of P Valley, honey. This is good, and it's a lot. There's a lot of moving parts, and I'm sure more to come. More to come. All right, I'll catch y'all next week. Later.